4 million impressions on X, aka Twitter, in 48 hours. They said I got lucky. Then I did it again with 3.6 million impressions. They said, okay, you got lucky twice. Then the third time, 5.6 million impressions. Okay, you might be onto something. But then the fourth time, over 7 million impressions. Okay, show me your secret. I'm gonna show you the exact playbook I followed to consistently go viral on X. My name's Arjun. I'm the founder and CEO of Doula.com. We're a business in a box based here in New York City that's raised over $13 million of venture capital. And the reason why I think it's so important to post on X or other platforms is you're sharing your story. And if you share your story, you're increasing your surface area for getting lucky. So I want to share the exact playbook I've discovered to consistently go viral on X. And the framework is called the Tell³ Framework. That's tell to the third power. Now, the best way to share is to actually show, right? Show, not tell. That's something that was taught from middle school. So I'm going to actually deconstruct one of my first threads that went viral using the Tell³ Framework. And then you can use this for your content going forward. So step one of the Tell³ Framework is tell them what you're going to tell them. Now, the most important thing of this first step of telling people what you're going to tell them is you need some sort of hook. You need to catch people's attention. So you can simply say, I am going to tell you about this. Or, watch what I did here. A concept I learned at 28 that I wish I learned at 18, asymmetric opportunity, semicolon, with a picture. I could have said, today I'm going to teach you about asymmetric opportunity. But instead, the hook here is, whoa, this is something that he wished he learned 10 years ago at 18. Okay, I'm kind of curious what that is. Asymmetric opportunity, that's a cool sounding term. And then a picture, which has these triangles. Okay, this looks kind of scientific. That alone was the key to this initial hook to get people to stop their scroll and actually say, let's see what this guy's talking about. So that's step one of the Tell³ Framework, is tell them what you're going to tell them, but really try to think, is this first hook going to stop someone's scroll? That's the way I like to think about it. Someone's scrolling. When they see this, are they going to stop scrolling? It's going to be a scroll stopper. Now, the next part of the framework is tell them what you said you would tell them. So I told people I would tell you about asymmetric opportunity and the concept. So let's go through tweet by tweet or X by X and actually share what I told people. The first thing I did is I defined what asymmetric opportunity is. I talked about how there's asymmetric upside and how there's asymmetric downside. I then said the goal is to do things with more reward versus less reward. And then I said, let's share some examples. People love examples. The next thing I did is I literally ran through a bunch of examples. So the first was going on dates. The second was investing in startups. Side note, if you'd like to invest in Doula, you can personally send me an email. The third is starting a company. Side note, if you'd like to start a company, my company Doula can help with that. The fourth was creating a podcast, a book, or a video. The fifth, creating a software product. The sixth, going to a cocktail party. The seventh, moving to a big city. The eighth, tweeting or posting on X. And the ninth, building in public. So you can see what I did here. I gave 9 examples of the concept. So for step 2 of the Tell³ Framework, tell them, and then tell them what you said you're going to tell them. You're actually just showing people examples. The other thing here, which I think really resonated, is I gave examples across such a wide variety. So it captured many different types of people. Maybe all 9 concepts resonated, or maybe one did. Maybe the person who's thinking about moving to New York City saw that post and said, damn, that hits. That's so real, that's so raw. It's exactly what I'm feeling right now. The other thing I did here, which you might have noticed, is I strategically tagged or included other people with social proof or influence, which helped me share the message, because I shared my message and I showed another framing or delivery of that same message. I think that's optional, but the point here is I gave 9 examples. So that's part 2 of the Tell³ Framework. And part 3 of the Tell³ Framework, this is how I wrapped up the thread, tell them what you told them. So I've told you I'm going to tell you about this concept. I've given examples of the concept. Now I'm going to summarize and tell you what I told you. Now this is so important because you want people to walk away with something. So I always like to think, you start with the hook. How can you finish with a banger? Something that's going to make people stop in their steps and say, whoa, that's a cool maxim or something I learned. Honestly, the life lesson or the learning lesson. So here, my banger to finish was, let me know if you have other examples of asymmetric opportunity. And I said, remember, shoot your shot. Life is too short not to do so. That was just a way to summarize the whole point of everything that I shared above, where you got to go out and do the thing. And that line itself, I think, really resonated with people because they read the post, they saw that and said, whoa, I learned something new and I got to go take action. I feel fired up. My skin's tingling a bit. My heart rate's gone up. And then finally, I did a little outro saying, if you enjoyed this post, you can follow me for more. Again, you've shared something of value, and if it is of value, you will get more people following you and wanting to follow you and your journey. In summary, the Tell³ framework is tell them what you're going to tell them what you told them. And here's the secret truth. This applies for anything. If you now watch the greatest storytellers, presenters, pitchers, books, content writers, YouTube videos, you'll see this same framework everywhere. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And again, I've used this framework repeatedly to go viral on X and Twitter, and I use this same framework on LinkedIn, and I'm using the same framework right here on YouTube. If you noticed in this video, I followed the same framework. So I hope this thread was helpful. I hope this video was helpful. And challenge for you, put this into action. Comment down below if you do put it into action. Share it with me too. I always like to learn from other people. And speaking of building in public or putting content out there, if you yourself are building a company, I'd love to be a small part of it with my company Doula. We're a business in a box. We help with formation, bookkeeping, and taxes so you can focus on what you do best while Doula handles the rest. So I'd love to be a part of the journey. You can head to doula.com and schedule a demo. And other than that, if you enjoyed this content, smash that subscribe button, hit like. I'd love to help provide more value and again, share a behind the scenes look about my journey building Doula in New York City. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.